I hope my voice is audible now. I would need a quick confirmation if my voice is audible. Great. Thank you so much for your confirmation. So, welcome everyone to the special webinar that we have that is pursuing your higher education in the USA, which has always been, a very famous country and a very exciting country to pursue your education abroad. But before we dive into the crux of the actual webinar, we would quickly like to help you understand about Galvanize Global Education, who we are, and what exactly we do out there. And we are happy to share that Galvanize Global Education helps students take their basic step, the baby step for pursuing education abroad, wherein we help you with the test preparation for GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, SAT. And not only that, we have a team of experts helping students for their bachelor's, master's, doctorate degree, wherein we help them with the admission counseling, wherein we help you with a lot of other activities that comes with respect to your admission process. And not only that, we have our team of experts helping you connect with the right loan providers for helping you connect. And not only that, happy to share that Galvanize Global Education is founded and managed by alumni from top universities like Stanford, Harvard, IIT Madras, and IIM Ahmedabad. This, as you could see, a lot of countries mentioned, but here you could see that 65 plus countries have chosen Galvanize in their journey of higher education. And not only that, we have helped our students get placed across, 1,000 plus universities across 18 plus countries out there. And this is a very famous thread on Quora. And I won't take much of your time here, but I would want you to go and check the Quora thread. And I'm sharing the same on the chat box as well. This is basically what students have shared their experience about being with Galvanize, either for their test preparations or for their admission counseling. And yes, of course, Galvanize is quite famous for their mobile applications, especially for the vocabulary. But I would want you to go and check the app store for GRE vocab and SAT in case you haven't used the mobile applications out there. And now it's time for the first poll that we would quickly like to run here. And here we go. So the poll says, how familiar are you with the application process for the universities abroad? Okay, so I think we have got most of them are somewhat familiar, but I'm pretty sure today's session will give you more confidence and help you take the first step to go ahead and start your journey for education abroad. And this is something very exciting that we have for all of our students, and that is number one, the attendees of today's webinar will be eligible for a 30% off on admission counseling services of Galvanize. And not only that, we also have a profile evaluation for you at the end, which we will be sharing the link in the chat box as well. Now, this is very important, especially the profile evaluation, wherein we will be talking more about how exactly this helps students and gives more clarity as to why they should pursue education abroad. Not only that, but what are the steps that they should immediately take to pursue their education abroad. And moving forward, a quick introduction about your host for today's webinar. We have with us Sujaya Roy, who's the Senior University Admission Expert at Galvanize Global Education. She graduated in microbiology from LED College, Nagpur, post which she did her master's degree in marketing from IMI, New Delhi, with 17 plus years of experience. Yes, you can see it's a huge experience that she's got in education industry out there, close to a decade of experience in handling students, especially for international. She has helped 1,000 plus candidates in the domain of international to pursue their master's, PhD, and MBA degree abroad out there. And here we are really happy to have her today. And with that, I would request Sujaya ma'am to start with the session. Hello, Sujaya ma'am. Yeah. So ma'am, we are unable to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. And it would be great if we can have the PPT in the slideshow format.
Yeah.
I think it started in between so that you can.
Yeah, 1 second.
Meanwhile, I would also request students to, start posting their questions in case they have any. And we would request you to wait patiently so that we can address all your questions by end of the session out there.
Okay, thank you, Ramya. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining at a weekend evening. It is so exciting to see so many participants out here. So just without any further delay, let us just dive in. I would just want to say, ask you a quick question. Am I audible to you all? If you could just write a yes, it will be okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 1 second.
So I think, ma'am, your slides are moving quite fast. If you could check once.
There's some issue out here. 1 second. I'm just solving that. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry for the initial hiccup. Now, let us just dive into why is important. Why is USA that important? And this is the most predominant question that might have triggered your minds, that why do we, choose USA as one of our destinations to study abroad? Now, there are many reasons to it, but few of the most important reasons are it has the highly reputed institutions. So you name any global institution and it is there present in USA. Secondly, you would get a plethora of options. When I say plethora of options, that means a range of programs that are available to you. You can, have a broad range of programs to choose for the kind of, courses that you would like to go go in over there. Now, of course, the education index has ranked #1 USA, the world leader in that. So for that reason also, USA is predominantly the one that is topping the table. You have small, large, medium-sized companies, small technological companies functioning at the USA. So that also gives an edge to the students to, start off with their career after they have done with their courses out there. Another important factor would be the CPT and OPT opportunities with STEM extension. Now, what are these? I would like to talk about this in a more elaborate manner when we would be actually, taking it further in the slides. And last but not the least would be the hassle-free application submission. So when I say hassle-free application submission, it is that straightforward and simple. You just have to fill the application form, upload the documents, and you are good to go. So it is that simple to basically start off with your US application. So this is predominantly few of the major important criteria which you can understand why you can choose USA as one of your destinations abroad. Now, let us understand the hierarchy or the educational system that the US basically offers to us. So of course, you would start after your high school, that is after your 12th. Now you can dive in straight to 4 years of undergraduate program, okay? But then there is certain, community colleges which offers you the associate degree, which you can do it for 2 years, and the remaining 2 years you can do it for in the bachelor's degree program. After you're done with your 4 years of program, undergraduate program, you can go for master's degree. After master's, if you wish to go for higher studies, you can go for the doctorate degree. And the top of the ladder is the postdoctorate education, the postdoc education that we commonly say. So this is pretty much the hierarchy that the US education system follows. Having understood this now, let us also give you in brief about the degrees that the US university commonly gives you. So the community college gives you the associate degree. The most popular among the all are the bachelor's degree and the master's degree. The bachelor's degree is the undergraduate degree, and the duration for this degree would be 4 years. So you have your bachelor's of arts there for 4 years, bachelor of science there for 4 years. Now, coming to master's degree, master degrees are commonly known as Master of Science, Masters of Engineering. So these are mainly for 2 years. But again, there are certain courses in the field of, masters in management, business analytics. They are basically for about a year. Sometimes could be for less than a year. You have business analytics courses for 9 months, for 11 months. So it's not necessary, but most of the universities, the master courses are for 2 years. Now, coming back to your doctorate degree, commonly known as the PhD degree. Now, this is ranges from minimum 3 to maximum 5 to 6 years. Now, the must have a PhD student, with them is the research proposal. So it should be there while you are applying to the university out there. Standardized tests like GRE and GMAT, of course, you would need, and the mandatory tests like a TOEFL and IELTS. Either you can go for IELTS or TOEFL for the application submission. So these are pretty much the degrees that are offered by the US universities. Now, let us understand what are basically the criteria, what are the eligibility criteria that one must have within them in order to apply to these kind of a degree. So today we are focusing on the master's program. So let us focus on MS, PhD and MBA, okay? So what are the entry criteria for a master's program? Now, ideally, you would have a bachelor's degree for 4 years, okay? You need to have a GPA of about more than 3.0. When you convert it to the percentages, it should be about 65 to 70% and above, okay? Then comes your English language proficiency test, IELTS or TOEFL. Oftentimes, I've been asked by the students and everyone that which one to go for. Should I go for IELTS or should I go for TOEFL? So in my opinion, or my 2 cents for them would be in whichever test you are more confident with, or you have your comfort zone with, because US university does not demarcate between IELTS and TOEFL. They will accept both these scores. So you can go for according to your choice. Standard GRE score. Now you can ask me what is the standard GRE score like. Then I would say about 315 should be the standard GRE score, and above would be better, of course. But we have seen students who have scored even lesser than that demarcation, that 315 or so, and they have made it to a really great universities or the top universities. Now, as much as we give importance to our academic sides, our accomplishments, our test scores, our GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, we make a huge hue and cry about it. But even after having that, we have actually not been able to cross the line. Have you all ever wondered why is that so? It is because of so many accomplishments that we wear under our hats, we are not able to construct it properly while we are doing the documentation. So it is of utmost importance for you all to understand how to write an SOP, because this is a very crucial part of your application. It discusses your accomplishment, it discusses your skills, your profile in a way that it should push the admission committee to give you, the crossover to the line. Then comes your letter of recommendation. Here you need to have at least 3 letter of recommendations, 2 from your academic side, from your professor, from your guides, from your supervisors. and one from your work part. Now, many of you may not have started with your work experience now. So in that case, you can ask your internship guide, or you can also go for 3 academic letter of recommendation in that case. And again, a resume, you need to have a very crisp and concise resume. So these are basically your main requirements that you need and that you must have in order to go for your master's program. Now, there are few additional aspects that you need to have within you in order to understand what are these aspects, or what are these weightage of the application could be. That is your relevant projects, research and internship projects, any published research papers. Then, you can be a part of any NGO which will showcase your social activities or your leadership activities. So these are basically your additional aspects that you can concentrate on in order to uplift or upscale your application. Now comes the exception. Like every rule has the exception, then this is also an exception. So 16 years, like I spoke about in my last slide, is not mandatory again here. Some of the exceptions are, you can also be 12 plus 3. In India, we have BSc, BCom degrees also, which gives you a 3 years of degree. So even those students can apply to the US universities, provided your bachelor's degree in India is NAC accredited. Okay. Again, as we spoke about the importance of GRE, we have seen, admission without GRE and GMAT is also possible with several universities. Again, TOEFL and IELTS score, you can also get away with the good universities, even if you don't score a band of 7 in IELTS or about 100 in TOEFL, you can still, get to go there with a lesser TOEFL or IELTS score. These are the highlighted universities that you could see here. This is Suffolk University, Oregon University. You have UMBC, NJIT, University of New Haven. So these are few of the universities that accepts 3 years of bachelor's degree. Now, having understood whatever is the requirement for an MS, master's degree, now let us just focus on the PhD program. So of course, you would need a successful master's degree in order to pursue a PhD program. But again, in US, the beauty is, if you have an academic profile, which is outstanding, you have exceptional profile in your undergraduate performances, then in that case, you can actually apply for a direct PhD. So just after your 16 years of education, you can be going for a PhD courses in US, and that is only available in the globe, only in US. So that's like an amazing feature. Third is the English language proficiency test. This is mandatory. Again, you either have to go for IELTS or TOEFL. Your standard GRE score again. Now, many universities would ask you for a subject GRE. So in case if you want to go for a PhD in astrophysics or a PhD in quantum physics, then a subject GRE score in a physics is again going to be required. Again, that will depend on university to university. In Masters, we spoke about the importance of SOP, statement of purpose. Along with SOP in PhD, what you exactly need is another thing called as research statement. So research statement again will play a very, very vital role for your application, for your entry criteria. So make sure that you have the best, best shot at it. Again, letter of recommendation, 3 letter of recommendations again that you would need. Again, the last one is the resume. Your additional aspects, again, which is going to push your envelope to just cross the line, would be the relevant projects that you can do, the academic research, the internship projects. And the very important aspect of PhD application, if you have a research paper publications under your name, you could co-author with somebody else as well, but that is again going to be a very, very vital thing if you can have that. Then your entry criteria for MBA program. Now, a successful bachelor's and master's degree both can apply to an MBA degree. So in India, after you are done with your BSc, BCom, you can go for 2 years of master's degree to complete your 16 years of education and then can apply for an MBA. And for a master's degree, the engineers who are having a 16-year of education already can apply to an MBA degree. Now, here you would get, you would want a GPA of about 3.0. And a few exceptions are also there. In MBA too, a successful bachelor degree of 3 years can be also accepted by certain universities. Now, most of the university would want you to have about 2 to 3 years of your professional work experience. But see, again, here is an exceptional, disparities, like Yale and UPenn are the topmost universities in US, and they don't require a work experience. So you can, very freshly graduated, and you can also apply over there. Again, standardized GRE or GMAT, you can go for either or. English test proficiency, IELTS or TOEFL. Now, MBA program need a lot of essays to be written, okay? Unlike MS, which would want you to have few, SOP, diversity SOP, main SOP. But in MBA, you would have a lot of essays, a minimum of 2 to 3 essays. It can go up to any limit when it comes to maximum. So you would have subjective related SOP, you would have situational related essay, you would have ideologies related essay. So there could be a lot of essays that you have to actually come up with. Then letter of recommendations, you would need that, and a very, very strong resume. So this is a very important factor. Not only a resume, you need to have a great resume present out there. The additional weightage that you could be doing is the managerial work experience. That is going to put you 2 to 3 years of your managerial experience can really be, a start to your application. Again, extracurricular activities like an NGO, sports, art, whatever that you would like to do it, you can. And a startup initiatives is also a very good idea. Whoever is planning for doing an MBA, this entrepreneurship is really, giving you that edge over others to go for an MBA application. So these are the main criteria for MS, PhD and MBA application. Now let us talk about the time schedule for USA. Okay, now when you should start, which is the right time, wherein you should start with your application or with your preparation, basically. So in US, you would have 2 intakes, okay? One is your fall intake, the other one is the spring intake. Now, the fall intake generally starts every year in the month of August or September. So if you happen to be, taking a fall intake, which is the predominant intake in US, because all the universities will offer you the fall intake, you need to start your preparation of GRE and TOEFL by June, July, and August. So these are the 3 months which are going to be vital to start off with your preparation of GRE, GMAT, and TOEFL. You can write your GRE, GMAT in the month of September. You can go ahead by write your TOEFL in October. Of course, you will get the results by October itself. And the fall intake portal for the US university generally opens up in the month of October itself. So as soon as you're done with your, test scores and of course with all other documentation process, you can simply start applying to the universities. Now, the deadlines will be there until December, January. Sometimes it can also get stretched. Some universities stretch it till February as well. Now, by the time you land up in March, you would start getting the admit letters. Okay, so admit letters and the I-20 would come in hand. So I-20 is very vital to file up with your visa. So March to June is the time when you would be started to hearing from your universities you have applied to. Then, of course, in the month of May onwards, the visa slots will open up. And May to July, you will have all the visa, documentations, and the process would be taking up. And in the mid of August, you would fly to your destination. Okay. Now comes the spring intake. So likewise, I spoke about fall, which starts in the month of August. This spring intake will start in the month of January. Now, when do you start with your preparation of GRE GMAT? Would be sometime the previous year, December, Jan, Feb. Okay. TOEFL you can give in April, and you can start applying from April itself. Okay. Again, your I-20s will come in the month of October to December. November is when the spring visa session will start, and you will fly in the month of January itself to attend your classes over there. So this is the time schedule for both fall intake and the spring intake. Spring intake is also amply available, but not all universities will give you the spring intake. Now, this is the timeline for the students, which is basically, if any one of you have joined this webinar in the first year of your engineering or your other courses, you can actually start off with your GRE preparation by now itself, 30 minutes a day, that's all it will take you. Second year, you can try and give your GRE, because your GRE score will be valid for 5 years, and until your application is done, your GRE score is going to be remaining there. Also, it would do one more thing, is that if you don't perform that well in your second year of GRE attempt, you can retake your GRE. So this will give you a chance to see where you're faltering, where to give importance, and whichever section you would need more focus on. So that strategy, you can do it over there. You can start with your profile building in your third year by doing a lot of relevant projects. You can start with your SOP, because SOP would take a lot of time to to come the constructed well. So you can start with that journey as well. In fourth year, you can start with your you can go ahead for your paper publications, because that is also very important aspect of adding weightage to your application. Now, again, collating other documentations like transcripts, then you can finalize your university's prioritizing deadline, and then you can probably start off by submitting your application. So this is more or less you can strategize your entire 4 years how to go about studying in the abroad destination. If you are in the second year, you can take with your GRE, get done with your profile in the third year. Fourth year, again, the same thing, the lesser the time, the more, you have to, faster your speed in order for the preparation that you would need. Third year, if you're a student of third year, then you have to prepare for your GRE as well. You have to do your internships as well. You have to start with your SOP as well. Fourth year, if you're a student, then you have to really, be on your on your run. You have to actually prepare a lot of your GRE TOEFL stuffs. You have to finalize your SOP, prioritizing deadline, all of that. So November, December, January, this is basically the regular deadlines will be there, and you can start off by applying to these universities. Now, having understood the timeline, we also need to understand what are the documents that we would need for our applications. Okay. Now, we have actually divided the documents into 3 parts. That is the academic side documentation, the visa type documentation, and the financial documentation. Now, what are the academic documentation? That is the transcripts. They are nothing but the marks cards or the mark sheets that you would get. The consolidated mark sheets are the transcripts that you need to take it from your undergraduate or graduate college. For that, you need to approach your administrative building of your own university, who will help you to give you the transcript. Of course, your GRE and TOEFL scorecards you would need your resume, SOP, LOR. If you are a PhD student, you would also need a research statement, and application form, and the financial document. Now, why I have mentioned here the financial document is, at times while applying to the university, very few university, they will ask you to give the financial documents even before you have received the offer letter, during your time of your application. So these are nothing but the bank statement that you would need to attach it with your application or upload it with your application. So this is academic. Now, visa documents are, of course, you would need a passport. you would need a service payment confirmation. This is basically a service payment you'll have to do in order to get the visa appointment confirmation. As I was speaking about the I-20 that you would receive before, once you would receive your admit letter, this you would need. Then the acceptance letter you would need, that is the offer letter from the university you will need. So these are the visa basically documents. Now, financial documents, the bank statement is only needed for your academic purpose, but the financial documents which you would need for your visa purposes are basically, again, the bank statement, the affidavit of support. So whoever is your sponsor should give you that supporting letter. Your family income letter, the proof of your family income, your IT returns, okay, your CA statement letter. So these are all we would help the students once they come to us for the visa. And if you supposed to take a loan, then the loan letter also you would have to have it in order to file up for the visa. So these are the most important thing that you need to have prepared while you would be doing the application and post your application. Now, look at the cost. What is the cost like to study in US? Okay. Now, your GRE, airfare, visa fees and all are going to be the one-time cost that you need not to pay, just after once, unless you are retaking a GRE or TOEFL exam. Now, tuition fee approximately would be about 35 lakhs, per year. Living cost would again approximately 12 lakhs. See, you can obviously have a margin of plus 10 up and here and there, because tuition fee again depends on university to university. Living cost would be again depending upon you, as in what is your lifestyle like. And so the total cost on an average would become about 50,000 50 lakhs approximately. So this is your total cost for your US. Yeah. Now, look into the financial aids that are available. Now, financial aids are available to the students who are going for the US in 3 types, okay? So wherein you get a tuition fee waiver. So they are the research assistantship, they are the teaching assistantship, and they are the graduate assistantship, okay? Now you would also get a chance to work part-time on campus. Okay, so these are some of the tuition fee waivers which you can achieve in this form. Okay, now let us understand what are the career opportunities over here. Okay, so this is a very exciting time for that what are the career opportunities that we could look forward to. So as I mentioned about the on-campus employment, okay, you can get a job on campus over there. And the important thing is off-campus employment. Okay, so what is the off-campus employment? In my very initial slide, I spoke about the CPT and OPT, this feature which makes USA very, very unique in its own terms. So what is CPT? It is nothing but an opportunity given to the international candidate in order to get in order to do a job, paid internship kind of a job while they are studying. Okay. So while they are studying, so basically you can see over here, you need to have completed about 9 months in a lawful status and currently would be on F1 status. So whenever you would be going for your study purpose to US, you would be given an F1 visa and you should have completed at least 9 months of your course in order to apply for a CPT. Okay, CPT can be full-time. Okay, it could be less than 20 hours per week, or it can be part-time, which is CPT can be full-time where you can work more than 20 hours per week, or a part-time which is 20 hours or less per week. Okay, so this is one feature which you can avail for. The another feature is the optional training OPT program. Okay, so what is that? it is the same thing, an international opportunity given to the candidate, wherein they have completed at least one full academic year. Okay, this OPT is basically given to the students who have related, who want to work in a related field of their major area of study. Now, basically, OPT is given for 12 months, for a year, okay? Now, but if your score, if your course or your program comes under STEM, what is STEM? That is science, technology, engineering, and management. If it comes under this particular STEM, table, then in that case, your OPT can get extended to more 2 years. So it makes a total of 36 months of your OPT. So 3 years of paid job that you can do after your completion, degree level completion. So this is a unique feature that you could avail CPT or OPT based on your program is eligible for whatever. Okay, now this work thing has come down to amendment from 2008 onwards. Okay, so I've already explained to you that the extension you would get for 24 months more if it comes under STEM program, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, during these 3 years of your time, of your full-time work, your employer can sponsor you the H1 visa, which you can convert the student visa into work visa. Okay, if your program doesn't come under STEM, it will then get reduced to only 12 months. So these are the benefits of opting for the OPT program in the US. Okay, so these are the top MNCs that you could see in US whose headquarters are present. So you can talk about any who's who. So you can understand the amount of, the scope that you would have after you are done with your course over there. So you name any, you have Amazon, you have Citibank, you have Hitachi, FedEx, PNG, so many, Apple, Google. So you name any and it's present there. So the opportunity is endless. It's, it's one of the most exciting thing that you can look forward to after you are done with your MS program. Okay. Now let me tell you about how Galvanize is going to help you when you come to us after onboarding with us. So once you are done with the onboarding thing, we will help you with the profile evaluation call. Okay, so which will be discussing your profile. If needed be, we will give you the recommendation to upscale or uplift your profile. So this is what you should do, how you should go about by doing that. Then we will help you with university shortlisting. This will be depending on your scores, on your academic accomplishments, on your work experience, and the entire profile basically. This university shortlisting is again going to be categorized under ambitious, practical, and safe. After the university shortlist, we will help you with the documentation process, as in drafting your SOP, your LOR. You need to give us a little bit of an inputs, but the entire thing would be done by our editorial team who are hands-on on it, and they have their experiences studying in their, in their MS and PhDs in their US universities, so they exactly know how to put it forward. Then after your offer comes in, we will help you with visa. Visa entire documentation, we will take care of it. Then we will also help you with the university finalization. For example, if you have multiple admits, we are going to help you which one is the best to choose for you. US interviews, more visas are particularly known for their interviews, so we are going to take a lot of mock interview session for you all in order to give you the tip and tricks as to how you should be presenting yourself, how you should be talking, what you should be talking. All of that we are going to cover in the visa. If some of you needed the loan guidance, the financing part of it, we are going to do that as well. We have a dedicated separate team who works for financing, of the students. So we'll help you in that as well. And then before you fly off, we would keep a pre-departure session wherein we would talk about the do's and don'ts. We'll also help you with travel tickets, forex, bank account guidance, each and everything. to basically give you, this is how we would do it. But I would like to also show you how we generally help our students when they come into us. Okay. Now, this is basically the portal of Galvanize, how it looks like when they enroll with us. So now, so far, you can see over here my cursor. We have serviced about 1,870 students so far. Okay. Um, this is what we are talking about when you onboard with us, the profile evaluation. So we have all separate sections wherein we take your target country, we take your department, we see your scores, we also kind of see from where you have done, what you have done, then if you have any preferred universities in mind, if you have done any research internships or not. So all of it we will take your preferences as well, like what is your budget like. Okay, so what is your criteria for university selection. So all of it we will take it, and we will keep it handy when we will be starting with our shortlisting process. Okay, so this is how it will go. I have spoken about a lot with respect to SOP, main research statement, resume. So this is something our documentation portal looks like. Do you have a link wherein you would be giving the inputs to the editor? The editors are then going to finalize, having a session with you. A lot of to's and fro's of iterations will keep place, wherein the SOP will be made, the resume will be made, your main research statement will be done. Okay, then you have your letter of recommendations, which we are going to help you with, your transcripts, all of that we are going to do it for you. Okay. Then after we help you with the shortlisting, this university shortlisting will come to you like this. Okay. So whatever universities we have shortlisted for you, it will come to you like this. Now, based on, as I have mentioned, it will be categorized also, all the information related to the university will be mentioned over there. Okay. Based on that, your research, like if you click on ASU, you will get all the university website, school website, department website, program website, your application checklist, your application form, all of which you will be able to hear, you will be able to see it there. Okay. Now once you receive an offer, okay, we are going to finalize the universities for you. Okay, like we have finalized, the student has finalized University of Texas, Dallas. Okay. Now for business analytics, once you upload your I-20 over here, we are going to help you with understanding the visa process. We will be able to gather the documentations required for visa, and then we will be helping you with a lot of visa mock sessions. Okay, so this is in a nutshell is how the Galvanize portal basically looks like to you. Okay. Um, yeah. With this, I would like to discuss some of the case studies. These are some of my students who we have serviced, last couple of years back and all. So this is Pawan Muralidharan from Bangalore. Okay, now you could see here, see he doesn't have a GRE score, right? So you have an overall CGPA of 8.99, an IELTS score of 6.5, and he managed to brag and admit in University of California, Berkeley for his Masters of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering. So you could see, without having a GRE score as well, he could do that. He had a couple of great projects under his name. Okay, he was a working professional. He has done his work in one of the top national companies out there. We can also see another student, Anuja, Hujanal, she has also managed to get her master's in Johns Hopkins University. You can see the GRE score is only about 299, but her TOEFL score is great, 106. Her overall CGPA is 8.48. She's done some fabulous projects, which is very relevant to her project or to her, a course that she wants to apply for. Okay. So all of that has basically yielded her the topmost admit the Johns Hopkins University for masters in bioinformatics. So all I would like to present out here is not only that the GRE score is important, it is the balancing of everything that plays the role basically. Okay. Now here, Neeraj Chaudhary, he is a bachelor's in computer science who got his master's in University of Southern California with the help of Galvanize. Now you could see his CGPA is wonderful, 9.42. His GRE score is again 312. IELTS score is 4.5. Now one thing which leads him to this admit is basically the publications. You could see here the number of publications he has done, under his cap. So that's phenomenal. Along with that, he has also done certain, relevant projects. So to upscale his profile. So in a nutshell, even after having, a 312 in a GRE, but overall, other things are so strong in his profile that he end up getting a great admit. And I remember him getting a great, tuition waiver as well from University of Southern California. This is Sairam Balu from Telangana, Hyderabad. He too has gotten a master's degree in Rutgers, New Brunswick. So he has done his projects in sentimental analysis, so very relevant project to the course that he would like to go in for. His GRE is 317, again a 92 TOEFL score, 8.38 overall CGPA. So this is one of the, again, Rutgers is known for his alumni network. So again, a very good admit for Sairam. This student, basically Ajit Potluri, look at his GRE score, 326. His overall CGPA, 9.96. So he's an exceptional profile, basically. He's worked with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, and he got his electrical and computer engineering from CMU, Carnegie Mellon University. So this is one of the very top-notch university. The student had bragged with the help of Galvanize, wherein we helped him shortlisting the best of the universities, to documentation, to visas, to everything possible that he could ever think of it, Then Rahul Rangaraj, who has gotten without GRE, his aim was to apply to only universities available in Florida region, and he got into masters in data science in Florida International Universities. He too has a bit of an experience, but he has not given a GRE. His overall CGPA is 8.32, and his TOEFL score is about 93. So this is in a nutshell. You could see from all these case studies are basically, if don't get bogged down on if something else is not working for you, you have other, departments where you can raise your bar, and a holistic approach is needed for the US universities basically to, offer you that. So keep that in mind, and then you work towards your goal. And with this, I come to the end of this webinar. I am open to take up your questions. I hope it was informative and you, gain some experience with this. Over to you, Ramya.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And by the time we have our students, who have just started asking their questions, and I would also like to give you a short, break out there. And with that, we would quickly like to run our second poll for the day. And I would request students to start posting their questions so that we can address them in a couple of minutes out there. So here the poll goes. How would you like to prepare for the standardized test like GRE, TOEFL, or IELTS out there? And I would request students to please share your thoughts on this. Great. I see a lot of students have opted for self-prep, but a couple of them have also opted for online course with a structured, personalized plan. Thank you so much. And with that, we would like to end the poll here. Moving forward, we would also like to understand a couple of things, wherein we would like to understand, in case you would like to seek more assistance, then, from whom would you like to take the assistance for your admission process? Oh, it's quite shuffling between seniors and study abroad consultants, but I'm happy to see that the more number of students are looking at study abroad consultants out there, which is really amazing. Great. And with that, we would like to end the poll here. As a lot of you, I have seen major of them have chosen, experts out there. I would quickly like to help you understand a little bit about Galvanize, as most of the things have been explained by Sujaya ma'am, where she's explained how the complete portal runs, and she's given a bird view to students as to how exactly things work out at Galvanize. As I said earlier, these are the mobile applications that we have. But in case you're looking for test preparations, we do have courses out there along with admission counseling services. And a little bit, I would like to talk about the perks and advantages of being with Galvanize for your test preparations or the admission counseling part out there. Is number one, you will have a personalized study plan for your test preparations, which helps you overcome your areas of weaker section out there. And not only that, you have unlimited Ask an Expert facility where you could get your content related doubts cleared by the experts out there with extensive practice questions. As a lot of them say that practice makes a man perfect, and that's what we believe in Galvanize as well, wherein we help you with extensive practice questions, also a full length practice test for your test preparations. And the benefits, I would say, is having an updated pattern. I'm pretty sure a lot of you are quite aware that there is an update in the pattern for GRE and TOEFL out there. So you'll have updated pattern at most affordable rate out there with complete solution and easy way of learning by expert guidance out there. This is something where I won't take much of your time, which is explained by Sujaya ma'am. Generally, this is the process that we follow. As you can see, profile evaluation is a part of the complete course, wherein students generally pay for this. But today, we are giving this as a free profile evaluation, wherein students can fill in the form, get a call from the experts, explain your profile completely, and then our experts will help you as to what are the next steps that you can take in your journey of education abroad. This is a very crucial step. As you can see, even in the whole process, this is the basic step that we do. And as I see, a lot of you are very excited, and you are ready to, you're almost there with your mindset to start with the process. I would request you to take this opportunity and fill in the profile evaluation form, wherein, because based on the profile, we guide students as to what are the important steps, and we also help you overcome what are the shortcomings that you have in your profile. I have freezed my screen here for a couple of minutes, and I would request you to take a note of this. My colleague has also shared the link in the chat box so that you could quickly fill in the form and make the best use of the link that we're sharing with you out there. So I would like to freeze the screen here, but same time, I would also request Sujaya ma'am if she would like to start answering students with their questions out there.
Yeah, sure. Ramya, would you read out the questions for me?
Yes, ma'am, sure. So the first question goes, ma'am, I scored 319 on GRE and 112 in TOEFL. What are my chances of pursuing MS in structural engineering?
How much in score? How much did you score in a GRE?
GRE is 319 and
Okay.
TOEFL is 112.
Yes. Okay. So he's got a very good score, okay, and he already has given the TOEFL and a GRE. So right now, all he could do is to, start applying to the universities when the portal will be up. So early he would apply, the better the chances he would have. There are a lot of universities in US which offers MS in structural engineering. The one that is coming in my mind right now is Purdue, okay, Georgia Tech. These are few, one or two universities which I could name right now where he could apply with this code. Besides that, to be very specific with the with how many universities, what all universities, I need to have the total profile in order to go ahead with the same. Yeah.
Sure, ma'am. So we have one question from our student. Yes. So Prashant has raised his hand and so meanwhile, we have a student, another student is there. What is the standard of research paper that we would need to publish to get into an Ivy League for a master's in STEM?
See, there the standard is there is no bar to it. As I have already mentioned, that it has to be very, very good. You know, all of the accomplishments have to come out the way you would construct it. Okay, so there isn't any bar to it. How good, but yes, the better it is, the more maximum chances is there for you to get inside those Ivy League universities.
We have
Hello.
another. Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Prashant. I have a question.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, I have completed my undergrad from IIT Madras with a 8.5 GPA in mechanical engineering, and I'm interested in going to US for MS in mechanical or aerospace engineering. I have been practicing for the GRE, and my mark scores are between 320 and 325, ma'am. So, which universities do you think I will have a chance, ma'am?
Well, Prashant, thank you for your question. Uh, I would rather show you certain things that we generally, take it into account while we are searching for the university list. Okay. Now, all of you could see my screen, right?
I think you're yet to share, ma'am. We are
Yeah.
not able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One second. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am. We can see your screen.
Okay. Now, as per how the student have said that he is from IIT Madras. So in past also we have actually, serviced a lot of students from IIT all across India and especially from IIT Madras too. So let me give you a student insight generator. This will kind of help you to understand some of the universities which you could apply to or which you could target to. Okay. So now here is, you said you're from IIT Madras, right? One second. So Indian Institute. And you want to get inside mechanical engineering. Target department is mechanical, aeronautical, manufacturing. Okay. Now let us see how many students that we have serviced in past who also have the same aspiration like you. Okay. Can you see Prashant here? Like we have students from IIT Madras. Okay.
Yeah,
They
ma'am.
have, yeah, okay. So now they have their GRE score of 322. Their CGPA is 89%, TOEFL 106, and they have been able to, sorry, so they have been able to made in University of Michigan, Purdue University, University of Illinois, Urbana, Champaign, Texas A&M University, Ohio University. These are some of the universities which our students from IIT Madras for your target department mechanical have made it to. Now, when you would come to us, we would also do a lot of other, we would also take a lot of other considerations like your CGPA, your actual score, your TOEFL score, your profile, your accomplishments, your projects, and then we will make out, the exact list for you in order to apply. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very insightful to see this. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Kushal.
So, yes,
Can I
ma'am.
stop?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. So, moving forward, we have another question, few more questions from our students.
Hey Ramya, sorry to
Yes, sir.
interrupt in middle. So I guess Shruti has raised her hand. So Shruti, I'm just unmuting you. You can ask your question directly to Sujaya. Shruti, I have asked to unmute you. Can you please unmute yourself and ask a question? Okay, I don't see Shruti replying. So there's a person called Abhishek Jaiswal, who is from IIT BHU. He has raised his hand, so I'm just unmuting him. Abhishek, I have unmuted you. Can you please ask your question?
Yes, sir. My question is that, is there any student of chemistry who got PhD from the help of Galvanize? Hello?
I'm unable to hear you. Your voice is breaking. You are asking if you have any students from chemistry background for PhD?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, we do a lot of students from the PhD background as well. We do have students who have, had targeted their PhD in chemistry. Specifically, I have known one student who wanted to do her PhD in iron and lithium field in, chemistry department. So she recently got her admit from Deakin University, Australia. So we have serviced many students in PhD as well.
Okay, he's muted. So we have a next question from Siddharthul Meen. Siddharthul, I have just unmuted you. Can you ask your question?
Yes. Hello, ma'am. I'm from Bangladesh, and this November I will be graduated in physics. So actually, I want to do my MSc program. So is IELTS enough to get admitted in a good university, or GRE is a must?
Yes, there have been few universities which waives off the GRE requirement. Okay, so you can go for only IELTS, but see to it that you get a very good score in IELTS. So out of 9, okay, to get into the best of the universities.
Okay. So again, Shruti Doifode has raised her hand. I'm just unmuting her. Shruti, can you speak now? Shruti, am I audible to you? Can you just unmute yourself and ask your question? Okay, I don't see any response from her. Anyone else in the group who wants to ask question directly to our expert can please raise their hand so I can unmute you guys and you can ask your question directly to ma'am. So yeah, okay, we have seen some responses. So there's a hand raised from Mohan Kumar. Mohan, I have just unmuted you. You can ask your question.
Yeah, good evening, ma'am. So I have wanted to do PhD in aerospace engineering or mechanical engineering. So how much GRE or TOEFL score would I need to go abroad, like USA or Germany?
See, there is no definite GRE score that one would be looking at. So you can target for a GRE score for a PhD would be around 310 or so. Okay, the more the better. And if you are looking for an IELTS, then I would say for a PhD again 6.5 or 7 band is going to be very good with no sectional scores less than 6. Okay. Besides that, my webinar was also more, into that GRE score and IELTS score. Also, you need to prep up with your other profile aspects as well. So definitely you can then apply it for a PhD degree.
Thanks, Sujaya, for answering this question. Guys, anyone else? It's going to be a good interactive session if you guys ask your questions over there. Please raise your hand so we can unmute you and you can answer. So there's a question from Amrita Ghosh. Amrita, I'm just unmuting you. Amrita, you can ask your question.
Yes, good evening, ma'am. Actually, my question is regarding the letters of recommendation that we need to submit for a master's degree. So I'm looking for a master's degree in computer science, and we need to submit 3 letters of recommendation. So if we submit like one LOR from the professional, from my employer, so what are the requirements for that? Like I need, so like we need to submit that on a company letterhead, right?
It's not needed that you need to have it in the company letterhead. Okay, without that also can be done. These days everything is online. So it's not absolutely of importance that it should be on the company letterhead.
Okay, and so we just require the sign of the employer, right?
If
On
you
the
get
LOR.
it, it's better. If you get it, it's better. Yeah.
Okay, and company stamp is also not necessary then, right?
No. Yeah.
Okay, fine. And what qualifies as the proof for my work experience? So I'm having a work experience of 1 year, and I will submit my applications for the next fall. But I do not have the work experience certificate, right? I'll get that when I resign from my company, but next year, not yet. So if in university, I don't know whether they ask for any proof of the work experience when I say that I'm having a 1 year work experience.
Not exactly. You need to just elaborate all of that in the application which you would be actually doing it, not in the form of any, certification. All they would need is your resume. Okay. Wherein you can mention that you are still doing your job. So work experience letter, of course, if you're doing it, wouldn't come to you at that point of time. So yes, of course, you can go ahead with that.
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
Thanks, Amrita. Hope your doubts were cleared.
Yes.
Anyone next who wants to ask a question can raise your hand. We'll be taking last 2 questions now. Yeah. Okay. So Jay Prakash Jhala is ready to ask a question. Jay Prakash, I have just unmuted you. Can you ask your question?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening. Actually, I'm attending this webinar on behalf of my husband. Just I wanted to know, my husband is 43 years old, ma'am. Is any age restrictions to apply for the universities or?
No, there isn't any age restriction.
And one more thing, ma'am, like actually my husband, he already finished his PhD in humanities. Now he is interested to, like, he is very much interested to do one more PhD. Is it possible?
No, I don't think that's going to be really easy for you to get another PhD as he's already completed one. Okay, so you have to take a consent from the university if there are any options of that sort available. So yes, that
now,
you need to.
Okay, he did his PhD in humanities. Now he wanted to do his PhD in management. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you already have a PhD in hand. Okay, again going for a PhD, how feasible that would be from your end and from the university's point of respect. We need to see that. Okay, so that kind of confirmation or something of that sort would be coming down from the university. We can approach them, but we cannot really have 100% guarantee on the same thing that you would be able to get through this.
Okay. So it applies for masters also, Nama?
No, double masters are there. There are so there have been instances where students have done their MS, but they want to go for another MS. So that's pretty much okay. But then with PhD, it is something that we have to look out for.
Okay. So he can apply for one more master if he is interested.
But not after his PhD, because he's already done his PhD. Yeah.
Okay. So once if PhD is finished, then he is not eligible to study further?
No,
in
that's what I'm saying, ma'am, that we need to actually take a consent on it. So I cannot be right now telling you that it is okay because it depends on university to university. Okay. So we need to approach them and find out whether it is possible or not.
Mhm. So will you please find out for us?
Well, we have to see to it how we can help you in that case, but right now it's not possible. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess, Ramya, that's all. The questions part. Now you can take over.
So yes, I think we are running short of time, and that is why we are unable to take much questions out there. And in this case, I would really urge you to take up the opportunity and fill in the profile evaluation form, which is shared in the chat box, so that any one of you feel that your questions have not been answered, or you feel that there are more questions that are running in your mind, and you would need the right guidance out there. Please fill in the profile evaluation form so that we can get in touch with you personally, have a detailed conversation with you, and help in the best possible way out there. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for participating in this amazing webinar. This has been really amazing session today, where students have actively asked their questions, which shows us they are, quite ready to start their journey for education abroad. And also a big thank you to Sujaya ma'am for joining us today and helping us get more clarity on what are the documents required, what are the process, what are the timeline, which is very important. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. And we wish all the students all the very best. And please do get in touch with us so that we can help you in a more personalized way out there. And Sujaya ma'am, would you like to say a few words to our students by ending the session?
No, it has been a really interactive session. Thank you for that. Thank you for all of you who have joined over here. I had seen one student asking whether we do have a PhD admit or not. Yes, we definitely have a PhD admit as well. So yeah, if you kind of leave your numbers and all that, we will get back to you on explaining to you much further about that session. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you, Ramya, for having me here.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you everyone for joining us today.